In this video, I'm going to break down the funnel that I like to pay attention to when it comes to circle prospecting. I have built my entire real estate business, actually for the last few years, a nice, really good foundation, healthy financial foundation for myself and my family through circle prospecting. My name is Adela. I'm a realtor here in South Florida. And in 2024, I did $101,230 GCI. And in 2025, I did a little over $400,000. It was like $408,000 and some change GCI. And because I am my broker, thankfully, I don't necessarily have to split that with anyone. But in this funnel, I want to show you kind of the difference it is when you're circle prospecting compared to like FSBOs and expireds, because that the numbers can be significant, especially when it comes to appointments, and you'll see. So I really want you to learn how to detach, take the emotion out of it. And the biggest voice in my mind when it comes to this is Myron Golden. If you haven't heard about him, go check him out. Myron is Myron. He has taught me a lot about business, smart, intelligent human being. And he just focuses on your averages, your numbers, and you got to know your data. So if you are new and you don't have data, you got to put the work in to start collecting that data that will give you confidence when it comes to doing real estate. So the first and foremost one that we want to focus on is going to be the hours of dialing. Now, this, believe it or not, is the only thing that you are in control of. The only one. You're not in control of conversations, leads, listing, appointments, none of that. The only thing that you can control is sitting in your chair, making your dials, having Mojo run. Now, I personally use Mojo Dialer. I've used it for years. I love their platform. It's super simple. I've even simplified it even further with my entire follow-up process and system. But I actually sit here and I make my calls and I can look at the Mojo prospecting dashboard to see how many hours I have been dialing. And there is a difference from me sitting in the chair and the dialer not running compared to me sitting in the chair and Mojo Dialer actually making phone calls. So the number of hours dialing, and if you're newer, start slower, maybe 5 hours a week, build up to 10 hours a week, maybe even set yourself a goal. If it's too much, try and do 10 a month. 20 hours a month. I was doing between 30 and 40. I was really shooting for 40, but now that I'm doing other activities in real estate, my mentor recommended that I do 30 hours in a month because I'm doing other lead generation activities. But I just really want to harp on the fact that the only thing you can control is the hours you're dialing. Now, the second one is going to be conversations. I know there are people who may have a target of 20 conversations in a day. You can't control people picking up the phone. You just really, really can't. And the only way you're going to have conversations is by you actually dialing. The next one is going to be leads. This, shockingly, will happen very fast, faster than you anticipate it, especially if you're circle prospecting. There's a lot of ideas that FSBOs and expireds are the low-hanging fruit, but you also have to realize you're competing against hundreds, if not thousands, of agents. When it comes to circle prospecting, you can typically be the only one standing, so it naturally just gets easier. It's really just more a time issue where all these homeowners are in a different timeline when they're thinking of selling. So then it just becomes a complete nurture and follow-up process. After leads, it's going to be appointments. Now, the appointments are going to vary because I've been circle prospecting for years now. There can be like a meet and greet version, or maybe you just like come, introduce yourself, break the ice, walk their property, but they're not really interested in listing just yet. That tends to be a bit more normal. The other version that I have is I've been talking to them. They know the market. Maybe I can see pictures from their property from a few years ago and they haven't done any work, so I already have an idea. And they'll just call me and say, hey, I'm ready to list. When you're here, can we just figure out what price we're going to list the property at? So there's different versions. Now, this is the difference I've experienced is I don't have to go on so many appointments to get listings. So in regard to the next step, that is going to be listings. But I remember when I was going on FSBO appointments, canceled, expired, even probate, you would go on, or at least I would go on maybe 5, 6, 7 appointments. At one point I was doing like 8 to 10 in a month. And of course, I started beating myself up mentally because I thought, oh my God, this is harder than I thought. This is terrible. This sucks. It was just really shark eat shark. And of course, they're interviewing multiple people. And I'm just not aggressive. I'm really not. I'm more of a nurturing type of person. So for me to lose, I put that in parentheses, lose listings, it really just started beating myself up. But when it comes to the circle prospectings, I can easily just end up going on maybe 3 appointments in a month and walk away with 2 listings. And then I realized I actually don't have to put so much emphasis or effort onto the appointments because they also know me. I don't have to prove myself because they've already been Googling me. They've been watching me. Maybe they follow me on Instagram, or maybe we're connected on LinkedIn. So they already see my work. So they trust me. They know me. And they know I'm a hardworking agent. So it makes it a lot easier for them to just list with me when I go and meet with them. But I don't have to go on so many appointments. That was like a huge no-brainer. I mean, in 1 month, I can go on 2 appointments and get 1, or maybe 3 appointments and get 2, or maybe 4 appointments and get 2. I shouldn't say never. I have, even in 2025, there was a point where I did 6 appointments and I took 5 listings. That was back to back. I think that was like February and then March. And they were all circle prospecting. So the conversion of listings to appointments is significantly high, and I don't have to go on that many appointments. Now, the one thing is a lot of realtors tend to think this is like the hurrah moment. I did it. I got a listing. It's over. I'm going to get paid. In retrospect, listing, you don't get to the money because there's still all these sections here. And I would say people ask me like, how many dials does it take to get to a listing? How many conversations to an appointment? I don't track that. I believe that is more like putting a cart before the horse. I always like to just focus on the step right before. Let me take this back. So I just want to know, okay, if I need X amount of leads, how many conversations do I have to get to? If I want to have certain amount of conversations, how many hours do I have to dial? I just focus on the step right before that. So if I'm not going on enough appointments, I'm looking at, okay, what's going on with my leads? How many leads do I have? How many leads am I following up? If I don't have enough leads, well, guess what? I'm going to have more conversations. If I need more conversations, guess what? I'm going to have to call for more hours. So I would just recommend to you looking at your prospecting dashboard, don't hone in on several steps before, just look at the step right before. Now, after the listing, the next one is going to be, of course, offers, because even if you do have a listing, you may not get an offer for 3 months. You may end up getting 3 offers and the seller still doesn't want to accept. So you need to go through the ladder, through the funnel, and just say, okay, if I want more offers, make sure that the sellers are accepting, I'm going to need more listings. After you have the offers, then it's going to be, of course, you're going to be pending at this point. You want to have as many possible listings pending that will ultimately take you to the closing table, which will result in cash. I apologize for my sloppy handwriting. I'm still getting used to this pen and iPad, so you'll have to forgive me. But I just wanted to walk you through it. The biggest point for me is really right here, as well as right here. That's the biggest change that I've experienced in circle prospecting compared to FSBOs and expireds. And if you're a new agent and this is the first video you've ever seen me, I do have a channel with a lot more valuable content. And if you're thinking about calling and don't really know how to call, or maybe even this one, how to get leads, which again will happen sooner than you actually think, I do have a free circle prospecting script that you can go ahead and download. I did a whole video, went down through the script, and you can download it. I will go ahead and put it right here. I'll see you over there.